what's up, what's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Come on, baby. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's a chill day. I'm excited, and I can't wait because it's the weekend. And on top of that, man, Steelers are continuing to make some nice moves. The moves that we happen to be liking over here a lot. So, yeah, man, I just can't complain, man. It's going to be an awesome day. I got morning meditation today as well. Namaste. So, I'm feeling great over here, man. What's going on your end, though, man?
Not too much. Weather's just awesome out here in Pittsburgh, and Steelers are on fire right now.
Facts.
Colbert. 4 more years for Colbert is what I'm saying. Why hang it up? This might be his best performance yet.
Hey, man,
after drafting Big Ben, do we have a better
man.
Performance by Colbert?
Hey, we're going to see, man. I'm liking what I'm seeing on paper, man. Kevin Colbert's in there chefing it up. So it's definitely looking good, man. Definitely looking good.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped up. I'm excited for the podcast, too, because we'll be talking about it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So with that being said, man, because it is Friday, and y'all know we don't work hard on Fridays, baby. We chill. Yes, indeed. Let us know where you're tuning in from so we can give you that big boy shout out and we can get this show rolling, man.
All right, I'll start us out. We got Quan Black. No, he's just saying get them likes early.
Hey,
we agree with that.
Get them up. How high can we get those likes today? Maybe it's a double entendre. But anyway, let's get the likes up, man. Let's get the likes up.
Brandon Clark, the 540, Roanoke, Virginia.
Let's get it. I see ya.
Bubba, 415 to the 412. Yay area. To the bird.
Yay. There it is.
Let's go. Big Deke energy all day, every day. DG McLean, calling for the honey badger. Give us the honey badger.
Boy said he wants
Jacob
some honey,
Malacio.
man. Give him the honey.
919 NC in the house as always. Always appreciate him showing up. Stan Claire,
facts.
905 Toronto. Russell Schwartz, 724 Hermitage, PA checking in.
Okay. Let me hop in here for a little bit, man. I got Jason Huffstetler tuning in from Charlotte, North Carolina to 704, and he says he's working down there. So hopefully you're not working too hard, player. Steve Brooks simply says, the crib. So you already know what the crib is. Greatly appreciate you. 757 in the house. Jacob Soria, the 209, Stockton, California, home of the Diaz brothers in the Stockton slap. Let's go. 2 cents wanted, the 954, Hollywood, Florida. And then we got James Williams, the 412 to the 614. And I cannot forget about Max S tuning in from Germany. I like it. Hey, mein Haus is dein Haus. Okay? That's German for mi casa is su casa. Just throwing that out there for the non-German speaking folk on the chat. But that's my end, man. You get some more of those things, Deacon. After that, man, we'll get this thing rolling, man.
Rayshawn Jones says, always skipping me, Deke. That's crazy. LMAO. I got you right there.
Call him out.
Alfred Galloway, 414, Steeler country. Everywhere I go.
Oh, facts.
Never too late. 901 Memphis.
Let's get it.
Damon Lodge, 225 Louisiana.
The boot.
I'll do 3 more. Donald Morgan, 814 Johnstown. What up? Rashid Owsley, 703 Virginia. 412 born and made.
Okay.
Ramiro Rodriguez, 602 Phoenix, Arizona. And actually, I'll add one more. Alex Mathis, 704, baby.
I like it. Well, man, I did see a couple ones that I wanted to shout out real quick just because. Jarvis Humphrey, I'm going to ask you what this one is. The 864, he says, the Big Peach. Where do you think that is?
That's got to be Georgia.
That's what I'm thinking, too, right? I'm like, I don't know what an 864 is, but the Big Peach, it's got to be Georgia. Got to be. All right. We also have... Where were you at? There we go. Gunny New, the 443, Baltimore, Maryland. Be more in the house. Okay. And then we also have, from the crib as well, Rashawn Johnson, the 757, Norfolk, VA in the house. Had to get to him. And then Fat Cat 716 tuning in from the 716 on that rough buff. Absolutely. Just wanted to go ahead and get those two in there. You know how that go. Because Deke loves to shout out anything Buffalo related. I mean, he texted me about Von Miller getting signed to Buffalo. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Man, Von's in LA. He's like, no. He's in Buffalo now, man. Let's go Buffalo. I was like, all right, bro. All right, Deke, you got the juice. Yeah. Direct recollection of what happened right there, man. So, with that being said, man, let's get this thing rolling. I think we got a super that just came in. If you could get that, we will go ahead and hit this first topic as well, man.
Michael Latham. He says, this one for Deke, the 412. Laughing emoji.
I like it.
I botched up the dialect or whatever pronunciation he wanted me to say there.
Hey,
I realized it afterwards.
Sometimes when you shouting at these places, I'm like, Deke, I don't know where that is. But, all right, I've heard of a place familiar to that, but I don't know. Let me get to Macon, Georgia. Can I get some Macon on that, please? Oh, good, man. You be killing it, man. You be killing it. But we got to start with Steelers free agency, right? What are we talking about outside of Steelers free agency? Because, it's still going crazy. And my man Deke, like he already shouted out, man, Kevin Colbert is on one lately. He started out a little shaky, but now he in that thing with a full sweat, got the music bumping. Yeah. And I'm all here for it, man. But first, man, let's start with the Myles Jack news, man. Getting Myles Jack here, 2-year, $16 million deal. A lot of layers with this right here, man. But the first thing, just initial reaction to it, man. What were your thoughts when you saw the Steelers had signed Myles Jack, man?
Oh, so pumped. This is an awesome deal. And at $8 million, kind of a discount. I mean, what did he sign in Jacksonville? He signed for like $454. So double digits. So we got him for $8. Really talented, athletic, just the type of dude we need on the inside. I don't know what we're going to do with Devin Bush. I don't know if we're going to maybe draft another linebacker. I don't know if we're going to bring another linebacker in. But as of right now, he's a huge upgrade to the unit. Whether or not we keep Bush or not, what we do with him, we're going to have Jack and Bush with how the lineup sits right now. And where Brian Flores back there, although he's coaching more outside, right?
Flores?
Yeah. Am I wrong on that?
I'd have to look, man. For me, I thought he was going to be inside, but no, if Jerry O's still there, then it would make sense for him to be the outside guy.
I thought they said outside because I'm still seeing a lot of people on Twitter saying, man, Flores is going to be coaching up both Devin Bush and Myles Jack. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure I heard he's just outside. But as long as he's around the linebackers, I'm sure he's still going to be helping them out a little bit.
Like I said, I haven't looked into the specifics of where he's going to be coaching just yet, but we know his linebackers. So in some capacity, man, he's going to be able to get his hands on them in some capacity. And with a guy like Brian Flores, you don't turn that type of any knowledge down from him, man. Period.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, man. For me, man, I love it.
Great move all around.
You're getting a proven veteran player, a guy who's 100+ tackle guy, team captain, green dot guy as well, and Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you're getting a high character guy on and off the field. You know what he does in the community from that standpoint. So, I mean, across the board, I really like this a lot. I mean, he's ultra athletic, former running back / linebacker. I remember when he was coming out, he was one of the linebackers that we were looking at potentially drafting. And those are some of the things that, they would talk about, just how his feet, his versatility, his vision made him such an intriguing prospect. And when you watch him on tape, I mean, he pops, he flashes, He is that the stud inside linebacker that you want. He's a guy that you really don't have a lot of concerns with when he's on the field, just based on, how hard he plays and the technique and fundamentals that he plays with as well. I mean, across the board, Myles is a daggone good linebacker, man. And to get him, like you said, for less than double digits per year, to me, I agree. That is a little bit of a steal, man, because I thought he would be, 10 to 11, maybe even 12-ish, just based on the fact that he is a high-volume tackler and his availability. I think he's only missed 4 games in his career. It's something crazy like that. Like he's always out there. He's always available. And we know firsthand in Pittsburgh what the lack of availability can do to your team, just as much as the impact of having a guy out there every week as well. And Myles checks that box, man. Myles is going to be available to you, and he's a big playmaker, man. Like, it's dope, man. I like this a lot, man. And what's
crazy about his availability is that was the knock on him coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thought that he was going to last in the NFL that long because everyone was concerned about his knees. That's why he dropped the second. He would have been for sure, I think, top 15 pick, first round pick. But everyone was really concerned about his longevity. And now we're talking highly about his
Yeah.
availability. It's pretty funny.
Absolutely, man. But that's the beauty of, giving a person a chance, right? They get a chance to either show that they can or that they cannot. He's one of the ones that showed that he can do it, and he has continued to do it at a high level. And I thought it was also dope, man, when the reports came out that my man Cam Hayward was on their phone, man, getting after my dog. Hey, yo, Myles, you need to come and join us.
He needs a little bit more work to do, but Cam's been killing it too.
Holding it down, man. I was definitely glad to see that. And then it was also dope to hear, when Myles Jack was speaking as well to the media, basically saying that, Coach Tomlin told him they're trying to win a championship and they essentially want him to be a part of it. They need him. And I was like, man, I like that mentality because it did reassure me, at least, and reinforce the fact that, okay, we are still trying to get us a chip this year. You know what I mean? This year, next year, because Myles only got a 2-year deal. So it's like, all right, let's load it up. Let's figure it out. And we're going to, let these chips fall where they may. But I do like that part right there, man, a lot. And to just know that Myles isn't afraid of this type of situation because he's been in this before. In terms of when they were the most successful in Jacksonville, it was led by the defense, right? They had Blake Bortles at quarterback, but it was really the defense that kept that train moving. And from there, obviously, Leonard Fournette, and that's kind of how they would work with it. It's probably going to be similar here in the sense of we don't have a over-the-top marquee quarterback, right? We know that either whether it's Mitch, Mason, Haskins, whoever, they're going to have some limitations. But this defense is going to have to be the team, the part of the team that carries us at points. And I do think that Myles being here reassures you in that sense. It gives you more confidence in their ability to do that because he addresses one of our biggest positions, of need in a sense. After we've made these other moves across the offensive line and these corners and stuff like that, it was like, man, what are we doing at the inside part of our defense? But to see Myles be brought in and him be, dialed into that type of approach, I definitely think is a huge plus for this defense as well because he's a hungry guy that's going to want to prove something also. Because he is, he didn't get paid the way that he probably could have got paid. So you look at that, you say 2 years, man, I'm trying to do every single thing I can to increase my market, which only makes it that much better for us because that means he's going to be giving us a ton of productivity in the midst of it.
What do you think it means for Devin Bush?
For Devin, man, I think you better understand that, hey, Myles does a lot of the things that I do, except he does them a lot better. The Steelers typically don't want two of the same players on the inside because we know how you can struggle with that. I think of, when it was Vince and Ryan Shazier, right? They were very different, right? One was your thumper and one was your elite cover guy, okay? When it was then Vince and John Bostic, both of those guys were real similar. So they struggled in certain situations, right? Then when it was Vince and LJ Fort or Mark Barron or I'm drawing a blank on it. It was another guy in that mix as well. Maybe I think it was Avery Williams.
Devin Bush was here with Barron.
Yeah. But it's like, man, you need who is your elite cover guy? And none of those guys really developed into that, right? We thought Mark could be that guy, but he really didn't develop into it the way that we wanted. Then when we tried to move Devin to that role, he struggled in it as well. If you're Devin, you got to realize, like, man, I need to either figure out how to cover at a higher level or I got to get my blitz package up a lot more because right now Myles can blitz. And the coverage that we're going to ask him to do is what you would typically want Devin to do in terms of being a middle runner on Tampa 2, in terms of matching with some of these running backs, and then just zone dropping good vision on the quarterback. Myles does all of that at a way higher level than Devin Bush right now. So to me, I still think the Steelers could potentially take a linebacker. I mean, if Devin Lloyd's sitting there at 20, I love that because I'm pairing him with Myles Jack, and I think that those two balance each other out perfectly. Whereas right now, like I said, with Devin, I don't think he's going to be released. I'm not even trying to go that route. But in terms of him being the shoe-in to be the starter, I don't think that's a guarantee right now. I do think there's a possibility that the team will still bring in a more athletic, more coverage, oriented linebacker, even a Chad Muma type in the second round who we talked about. Trey Anderson, we brought him up in the mid-round as well. Those are guys that specialize or have just the projection of being able to be top-notch cover linebackers in the league. And that's the thing for Devin that he has to improve upon in a hurry to make himself more valuable in that area.
Because right now we are literally probably 2 players away in free agency from being able to draft with that luxury going in of just, all right, we have kind of a position of need, but let's just draft best player available as well. because we could go with Myles Jack and Devin Bush right now. Or if Devin Lloyd is there, we could still draft him, and then there's a little competition, or we see how things play out. Same thing with receiver, nose tackle. Like if Tuitt's coming back, defensive line's fine, but I mean, we basically hit on every position thus far in free agency outside of safety.
Agree. Yeah.
So, all right, let's just take Jordan Davis then, and we could split time with him, Tyson Alualu. That's why I'm really complimentary of Colbert and the job he's done.
Yeah, we're in an awesome space right now in terms of, like you said, not having to draft for need. We could go best player available. And whether it's Jordan Davis, whether it's, like you said, a Devin Lloyd, or maybe it's a receiver or whoever they feel like they want to take, they have that luxury, they have that flexibility. And I think we both kind of agree that as long as it's not a quarterback, I think we love it, because it's like, man, we know we're going to get impact. We know we're going to get a good player that's also going to be able to help us these next, not just next season, but the seasons going forward as well. But for Devin, man, like I said, man, this is one of those situations where just be aware. If they bring in a guy, it's not for Myles Jack, because Myles is getting 8 now. That guy's not coming off the field. He's the green dot guy. He's going to have the C on his chest. He's a leader out there. Devin, though, insane that we I don't know if this is a good transition or not, but insane that we got Myles Jack and more cap space in return for cutting Schobert and also Zach Banner. Yeah, man.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah. But that's a part of it, right? And that was the difference that we did, or the difference of this year versus last year. Last year, when we said, hey, we can move certain players, cut certain players, and create cap space, we waited until what? Free agency was pretty much over. Yeah. And then we started to do that, and we're like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Whereas this time around, it made perfect sense, and they did it in a timely fashion. So now we can actually utilize that money to go out there and spend some more. Because if I remember correctly, we should be around like 12, 13 mils still available in terms of being under the cap. So I'm like, man, this is like a dope situation. And now when you're making other moves like that, and they still could do some other stuff, it's like, yo, this is good right here. This is what we want to see, man.
Yeah, that's still a Tuitt restructure, maybe, who knows, even a TJ restructure, a way of getting that maybe up to 30.
Easily. And that's the thing, like, and that's the part where I'm still waiting to see, like, what happens with Tuitt, because he's kind of like the little wild card in a sense, because we said, man, if he's available, well, you're not worried about, signing somebody in free agency to come and fill his role. And even in the draft, you don't feel the pressure of having to get somebody early to fill his role. But if he's not available, well, then now it makes you say, okay, do you want to fill this in free agency? Or do you fill this through the draft? But we still are kind of like not really knowing what is happening with him 100% right now.
Yeah. Anything we're missing on Myles Jack? Like, he's just a great deal. Yeah. Great player. Affordable contract. Position of need. Is there anything? What are we missing here?
Is there anything to say negative about it? I mean, I cut the tape on. I'm watching him.
I really don't
cut the tape on. I'm like, I know exactly who Myles Jack is. I'm a fan of Myles Jack. I love his game as a linebacker. I see him run the middle seam. I see him match up well with running backs. He's physical. Even though he's not a dominant thumper type linebacker when he comes downhill, he plays with such great technique, pad level hat in hands, that he shots big linemen, man. He's always finding that ball. And that's the other thing. He doesn't miss a ton of tackles. Because remember, that was the thing we talked about with Devin as well. It was like Devin is like crazy athletic, especially before the injury. And it was like, man, you watch him and he misses a ton of tackles at times. Myles Jack doesn't miss tackles. He's one of those guys that, if he's near the ball carrier, man, open field, in the hole, he's bringing that guy down. Or he's slowing him down enough that the cavalry can come over there and finish him off as well. But he is super efficient defensively, man. Like I said, this is an awesome pickup, man. Awesome pickup.
Timely pickup too. He gets released, and 2 days after, Gilbert's on the call.
Absolutely, man.
Makes the move.
Now, you did bring up, man, the two guys that got released as well, man. Zach Banner and Joe Schobert. Thoughts on both of those guys, man, in terms of being released, man?
Just makes sense.
Yep.
Schobert was like $8 or $9 million cap hit, and once we released him, basically got all that money back. I think outside of $1 million bucks. Yep. So basically, just right there, that's a Schobert trade for Myles Jack. I think anyone in their right mind is doing that 100 times out of 100. And then Zach Banner sucks because, obviously friend of the show. But for $5 million, with the productivity he's brought to the team, I mean, I see why the Steelers want that cap space,
man. Without a doubt. Yeah.
And we just signed Chooks too. That's the other thing. There's no way Zach Banner's going to be starting at right tackle anyway. So $5 million for a bench guy on the offensive line. Yep. You could spend that elsewhere with some of these receivers that are still out there. I don't know what they're going to be doing at safety, but does $5 million get you Terrell Edmunds back? I'd rather have Terrell Edmunds than Zach Banner on the bench.
I would definitely agree, man. Yeah.
So I think just no brainer.
I thought that, man, both of the moves were necessary. And I thought the timing of it, man, really made a lot of sense when you talk about, because remember, they didn't release Joe Schobert at first. They were waiting, but then it was like, okay, you've got your upgrade in terms of Myles Jack. Well, now you're comfortable moving on from Joe Schobert. That makes sense to me. I like that a lot. We said, even going back to Banner, when we talked about the deal with Chooks, it was like, man, Chooks getting $10 million a year. There isn't a competition anymore. Regardless of what happened 2 years ago, there isn't a competition when a guy's getting paid $10 million. He's going to be the starter, right, wrong, or indifferent. So it made sense for the Steelers as well to move on from Banner, because you're saying to yourself, well, hey, how long were we without him last season? And we still felt like we could sub in this guy if we had to, or sub in that guy if we had to. But we also know the Steelers still might draft the offense lineman as well. So you just have, better options, better ways to go about it from a cost perspective. And like you said, man, it sucks because, he was obviously a friend of the show and everything like that. But just because you're a friend of the show does not mean, you cannot get released. That's not how it works, unfortunately. So with that being said,
that's on the top priority list for who gets cut or who doesn't. Who's on the Architects Experience with Deke podcast? That's what Rooney's looking at.
I mean, how many times have we already said it? It's like, you come on the show, you ball out. Ahkello, he came on the show. What happened? Interception, check. Okay, this is how it goes. We know this. Terrell Edmunds comes on the show, interception. It's like, all right, let me find out. Like, this is what we do. So yes, Mr. Rooney be dialed in. He'd be like, hey, Arthur, is everything good over there with you and Deke? I'm like, yeah, Mr. Rooney, no worries at all. He's like, well, who's the guest this time? I'm just trying to think who we're going to feature on the offense or the defense this week. It's like, it's Highsmith. Oh, okay, well, great, man. And I know Highsmith's going to have a great game then. Like, that's just how it goes right now. So, yes, he did. He might have called me. I was in a meeting, so that's why I missed it. It was one of the 412 numbers. But he definitely was like, yo, Moats, how do you feel about us having to move on from Banner? Is that okay with you? And I was like,
oh, man, Rooney, so you gave him the green light.
I said, Mr. Rooney.
What'd you say?
I said, Mr. Rooney, man. I said, hey, man, if that's what needs to happen, man, I understand. Make him an offer he can't refuse. That's what I told him. Hung up the phone, man. After that, man, I read the news. It was like, Zach Banner, boom, release. Oh, no.
Oh, so he misinterpreted. You were like, it's cool to bring him back. We restructured or something? Right, that's what you were trying to say.
Instead, Mr. Rooney told him, hey, you get in the front seat. I'm going to sit behind you. We're going to take a little ride around the corner. And yeah, man, you know how that go. So, like I said, man, I was just telling him to make an offer he can't refuse. Like, yo, come back for this. Not, hey, let's take a ride in the car. But, sometimes words get, misinterpreted. It happens like that.
And he's a busy guy. You can't really.
Exactly. I tried to shoot him a text afterwards. Like by the time I got the news, I was like, oh, it's over, But yeah, that's the truth, man. That's the truth, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah, but those two moves just make sense.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We were waiting for it.
Yeah.
But they waited till they brought in a guy to replace Schobert, as you said. And I guess hopefully there's another move or two to be made in these next couple of days, because it's either Edmunds, Matthew, we get another receiver or two in here. But we have the cap space for it.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. But then we also had another signing as well, man. This was more of an in-house guy, right? In terms of Ahkello Witherspoon, your boy, man. The deal is finally done. I mean, we've been waiting on it. Aditi had told us, was it Monday? I'm like, man, come on, bro. When it's finna happen? We did another show, had to talk about it. It's finally happened. It's finally confirmed. 2 years, $8 million. To me, man, I love that value for him. Catching him at $4 million a year. And we know he has the potential to be a cornerback one. Right now, he's not there just yet, but he's flirting with it. He's shown us that, man, this dude looks like he could be that guy. To get him on that price, to get him at that price point, I think is a steal. I'm surprised in a sense by his market, but at the same time, I can understand it being what it was. But as a whole, when you're talking about having Ahkello Witherspoon, Levi Wallace, and Cam Sutton as your three guys, now whoever you draft, you don't feel a ton of pressure. It's like, man, if we get a guy, he can come in and be cornerback 1, great. But if he's a cornerback 2, it's like we still have options. We can still get away with what we're doing because of Ahkello being back, because of Levi Wallace, and obviously Cam Sutton being in the mix as well. So to me, man, I think that this was a awesome re-signing, man, for that price, because I did not think it would be that, man. But how did you feel about your boy Ahkello getting that opportunity to come on back, man?
Well, yeah, especially with the waiting game, I thought the
absolutely.
number was going to increase because he was maybe testing the market a little bit. Oh, wait, you offered me this. And apparently he was going to sign the first day of free agency. It was Monday whenever Aditi said that. So maybe just as he's about to make this signing, he's seeing some other deals coming in from other teams. He's like, wait, hold on. Before I sign this, can I just check out some of these other numbers real quick? That's what I thought happened, but then we see the deal. It's 2 years for $8 million. It's the same deal as Levi Wallace. I'm like, what was the holdup?
But I wonder because, but I would agree. But think about this: what have we been seeing? Because I feel like it's a lot more guys flipping their minds as well, right? They're changing their minds. Looks like the deal is in place, and they're like, I agree with you. I don't want to sign anymore. Or they agree to a deal and then they flip on it. Yeah, Randy Gregory. You look at Zadarius Smith. The running back that was supposed to go to Buffalo, I forgot his name, but yeah, it's like it's been multiple people now that have said, hey, I'm going here, and they kind of flipped on it in that last minute, man. So that's kind of what I was like, man, all right, that's what's going on right here? Because the report said that this is supposed to be done, and the longer this goes, the more I'm thinking that it's not done. It's going to be flipping somewhere else, man. But it was good to see that, we got it done, and he is going to be here, man. So that is a good thing, man.
Yeah, I could not believe the numbers. I mean, I thought it was going to be around 6. I thought 6 was the minimum, actually. Like, if Levi Wallace is getting 4, and he's like a solid cornerback too, Ahkello proved enough to me last year, at least, that he's going to be going into the season as cornerback 1. I just thought those numbers at least would be just bumped up a little bit, inflated a little bit, just based off position or how we view those cornerbacks. But whatever, dude. Whatever. This is an amazing deal for the Steelers.
I'd agree.
Because if he plays like he did last year, I mean, he might be doing a holdout in between the off seasons of this contract, and I wouldn't blame him for it.
Well, yeah, that is the case, man. If he's able to replicate, especially the back end, right? The back end was the best part, because we know at the beginning it was a little bit of a mixed bag. At the beginning, I mean, it was times where we were looking at Kevin Colbert saying, "Why did you trade for him?" When there were other guys that we potentially could have traded for, they were having impact right away. But it turned out to be a good move in the long run, in terms of once he bounced back, and then from there, he started to get those turnovers. It gave us a lot more confidence in him, and we saw his confidence increase as well. You would see him, we would talk about it, man. He celebrates. He's playing with swagger now, man. Like, he looks like he's having fun. And that was something that I think was what Garvin told us as well. He's like, man, if this dude is confident, man, he can be, a top-notch guy. But if he's struggling with the confidence, then, he's going to look a certain way. And it was just good to see, the first part of it was like, he didn't have the confidence. And it was like, what are we doing? And then we saw him when he did finally have confidence, and ultimately how much more productive he was. And I do think that this situation is very different for him than a year ago when he got paid to go to Seattle. Because obviously, he left San Fran to get paid to go to Seattle, and, it just didn't work out. They traded him right before training camp ended, essentially. So it's like, in a sense, you wonder, like, what went wrong there? Did he become complacent? Did the Seahawks not like what they got when he arrived there? Whatever it was, I think here is different because he earned that pay, but he's getting that pay here. So it's going to mean more to him because he had to bust his tail. He had to go from not getting opportunities, sitting on the sideline, having a little bit of a struggle, to balling out. And now it's like, you're one of the leaders on that defense, or at least in that DB room. We're going to be looking at you like, we got more expectation for you. Do it for the whole season now. And I think that that's going to mean a lot more to him this go around, man. So I'm excited to see him respond to that. And hopefully it does get to a situation where he's balling out and he's worth a holdout, right? I mean, because it's not a bad thing. That just means the guy's playing at a higher level. That's it.
No, that means our defense is probably unreal.
So I'm like, if it gets to that, I think that's a great situation. So, man.
And we should have cap space for years to come. Man. We have this situated where we're going to have a lot of cap space still.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, that was kind of my thoughts, on both of those guys. In terms of Ahkello being brought back, we obviously wrapped up on Myles Jack. But Did you have anything else you wanted to say about Ahkello? Otherwise, we can get to these supers, man.
No, just awesome deal.
Yeah, love the deal, man. Love the deal. All right. So if you should be Alex Mathis.
Should be caught up
man,
on everything. I think I screenshotted everything.
Out it's Friday and you over here being proactive.
I think I should
Deke
be.
said, "Look, man, I know." He said, "I know the
I
chat."
might be.
Yeah,
you
Alex
said
Mathis.
Mathis.
Do you guys know about the cat room? And
no, that's you.
Okay,
that's you. I got after him.
I bet. I still like your proactive though, man. That was dope by you. I see that move. Deke said, I ain't young no more, guys. I got this. All right, but his first chat comes from Alex Mathis. He says, "Do you guys know what our cap room is around? Excuse me. And is it still enough to get the honey badger?" So currently, like I said, from what I've seen, we're around like 12, almost 13 mil under the salary cap. But as we kind of talked about, if they want to restructure a couple of guys, whether it's TJ, whether it's Tuitt, potentially release anybody, they can clear up some more to get that number even higher. So if they wanted to get Tyrann Mathieu, they absolutely could. They could create enough money for that to happen. And obviously, I mean, we'll talk about him obviously in this next segment, man. But yeah, to answer your question in short, yes, they do have enough money to get him. Right now, they're at 12, 13 mil under the cap, and that could increase just based on if they want to make any more moves.
I'm at Farron Bradford. Am I right for that?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, the super, right? The I love all these.
Yeah. I love all these signings. But what does it mean for the draft now? I feel like DT, CB, I might have missed a position there. Yeah. Are now the areas for most improvement. Plus, we may need to. Yeah, I actually screenshotted half of this comment off, so you might have to read this. I'm missing actually major parts of this comment.
That is such a Deke move, bro. I love it. Deke said y'all screenshotted it.
I'm moving that screenshot right to the trash.
Oh my god. I like it, bro. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Bradford says, yeah, you got me laughing over here, man. He says, "I love all these signings, but what does this mean for the draft now? I feel like wide receiver, defensive tackle, cornerback are now in the areas for most improvement. Plus, we may need to trade up in the first to get a dynamic cornerback or wide receiver." Kind of like what we were talking about, man, in terms of them having the flexibility now to go best player available in a sense. Safety is something that we're going to need to see, whether it's Terrell Edmonds returning, whether it's the Honey Badger or anybody else, right? Right now, that still remains open. Cornerback, if they want to, they could still go and get a corner early on, like a bona fide cornerback one. And now you're just talking about having a crazy group out there if you bring in a higher end corner as well, like in the draft. I do agree with you about defensive tackle just because we still don't know what's going on with Tuitt 100% just yet. And we already broke down, the age for Tyson and ultimately how that impacts, the future of this team. So it would make some sense to get a D tackle early on. But wide receiver, yeah, I probably think that's probably the most pressing secondary need in a sense, right? Because I don't view wide receiver as big a need as safety is right now, right? Addressing that spot or D line. But I do think that you can add another wide receiver. But this wide receiver class in the draft, we talked about it, man. It's pretty deep. Like, we got talent that you could get, and we will feel confident with, those guys coming out there and using them in concert with a Deontay Johnson and a Chase Claypool. So with that, you still, like I said, have flexibility. I mean, the way Kevin Colbert has maneuvered through free agency right now, he has the team in position to be able to just draft the best player that they feel is available, man.
Feels like receiver would be easier to get as of right now. Well, I think it is becoming a need, especially if we don't re-sign Juju, Ray McLeod's going over the 49ers. We need to bring in someone, but I feel like we could get any of these dudes. I feel like we can get one of these dudes pretty easily, though, on a $5 million less contract. But then if not, we're just going to have to draft it. That actually becomes a need, I think, if we don't address it in free agency. But I'm assuming we are. Like I said, I think we could definitely pick up a dude in free agency at an affordable contract. All right, next we got Jacob Herbst, just giving us some support. We appreciate that.
You. Namaste.
Now we have Cliff the Dark Knight. I think Myles was brought in as insurance and potential replacement for Bush. I still think they drafted true buck like Leo Chenal.
No, like I said, it would make sense, but I don't think he's insurance. I think that Devin is on notice. I think that it's a big difference, man.
Oh, Myles
That's
Jack
what
is
I'm
not
saying.
insurance.
Yeah.
He's
I'm like,
linebacker
if you're
one right
Devin Bush,
now.
you're looking at Miles like, oh, you do the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And if you bring in Leo, now it's like, okay, I really don't do what he is capable of, nor can I do what he's capable of. But for me, like I said, I still want to probably pair Miles with like I said, just a guy that can match up a little bit better with some of these tight ends in space. Because I think Miles, man, I love Miles staying in the box, man. You keep him in the box, I think that's where he excels at. And in Jacksonville, they did a lot more of zone drops where they are just having vision on the quarterback. Remember we said it's a difference between like your traditional zone drop and your match zone, which is what we play in Pittsburgh, which is essentially man-to-man on every coverage. So with that, that's what we get linebackers on slot receivers, linebackers on tight ends. And at times it's like, ooh, this could get a little gory. That's the only reason why for me, I'm like, I still want to keep Miles where he can do what he's accustomed to doing. Middle runner on Tampa 2, blitzing when he needs to, zone dropping, eyes on that quarterback, man. I think that or just taking a running back, I think that he's going to excel in all of those roles. But I think I would still want a guy that's going to be able to go out there and match these, like I said, freaky tight ends without any issue. Now, Miles, like I said, he still could get it done. But I just think that he would excel being able to not have that on his plate.
We could still trade Devin Bush.
I mean, we've talked about that as well. You know?
Clears up cap space. Yeah, especially now that we have our true linebacker number one.
I just never know. I just never know what's the temperature.
Someone like Devin Lloyd makes a lot of sense to pair with him. I just never know the temperature
on Devin Bush. When we bring up, should we trade him? People say, no, man, we got to keep Devin, man. He's going to develop. Then we were like, all right, we're going to keep him. He's going to develop. It's like, well, man, we can move him, man. He ain't doing it like that. So I'm always like, I don't know what y'all want to talk about today. You know what I mean? Are we loving Devin Bush? Are we not loving Devin Bush? You just never know.
It just depends on who we replace him with. Because, yeah, I think he's good enough, or at least the potential is good enough that you can have him stick around. And with Brian Flores being in-house, see what he develops into. At the same time, I don't know if I want to wait around for that if we have the idea of pairing Myles Jack with Devin Bush or maybe even – or not Devin Bush, Devin Lloyd or one of these other dudes in the draft. That's all I'm saying, especially when we could clear up about $6 million in cap space if we trade him.
I would agree, man. Like I said, I'm not against it. Like I said, you never know. You never know the feeling. But they haven't signed him to a long-term deal or anything like that. They haven't picked up his fifth-year option yet. So moving him would still be fairly easy. Just depending on finding a suitor and seeing what type of deal you can get for him. But because his contract isn't going to be anything crazy, it does make it a lot easier if they want to go that route. But I just don't think they're going to do it.
I don't either.
Yeah, and honestly, you don't need to. From my perspective, I still look at it like this. You can still draft whatever linebacker you want. And if Devin Bush is your backup because he gets beat out by younger guys, so be it. But you still feel a lot more confident with Devin Bush coming in off the bench than probably the other group of guys that we're more accustomed to seeing in Pittsburgh coming off the bench right now, where it was just kind of like, man, these guys really have flaws in their games and stuff like that.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. You let it wait out until before the season to see who wins the competition.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if the young guy wins the competition, then I think you could actually really trade Devin Bush.
Yeah, but you have flexibility. Like, if you want to move him, then you can move him because as the season progresses, injuries are going to happen. Teams are going to say, hey, I need a guy. Could he come in and be that guy? Market goes up. But at the same time, if his market doesn't go up and you hold him and he's your third linebacker, you still feel confident with Devin Bush being the third guy versus maybe a Robert Spillane, a Marcus Allen types and stuff like that. So that's the part where, like I said, you got options in terms of how you want to handle him, and especially, too, because he's still cheap right now. You know, even though he's a first-round draft pick, the way the contract is set up, he's not going to have, this crazy dollar amount attached to him if you try to move him. But I guess I don't think they're going to do it, though, man, honestly.
That's my feeling as well.
Yeah.
Sean Jones says, I feel like Deke got beef with me. Got to play me in Madden now.
Uh-oh.
No beef. No beef. Not at all. But with us signing Spoon, would you rather us just pay Edmonds or bring in Bad? If you have an option, I mean, I'd like to see what we could do with Tyrann Mathieu and Minka Fitzpatrick as a safety combo.
Yeah, we're going to talk on that, man. We'll definitely talk on that. But going back to the Madden, man, do you think you just casually went over that part? You ain't gonna play him in Madden?
I could.
Oh.
I could.
Oh, I was just wondering.
I'm kind of good right now, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you said he's kind of good, right? You are coming off a championship, so you're right, man.
Coming off the championship.
Better leave that man alone.
We got some new players too. With all these free agent signings, we got some new players on the squad. The Trubisky card sucks, though. We ain't messing with them. We're rolling with Vic for a little bit right now.
Man, come on, man. You got to make that roster right, man. Mitch, the new quarterback, man. Put Mitch in the realm, man. Come on, man.
The card just sucks. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. It's like a 92 overall.
Man, you good, bro?
He throws floaters out there. I mean, he's throwing like balloons up, man. It's bad. He's somewhat mobile. I was expecting a new card for free agency.
Yeah.
I was, but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I thought they were, but they didn't. They kind of disrespected us. They gave us a Juju and Joe Hayden and a James Conner card for free agency.
Shout out to James Conner, too, man. He got a nice check. Sheesh.
Holy hell. That was too much. That was just too much. I appreciate what he did this year. That was too much.
I'm not going to lie. I was like, whoa. It's all right. Okay. I like it. Shout out to my dog, man. Super happy for him. I personally wouldn't have paid that much, but shout out to my dog for getting that check, man. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
He's definitely a top 5 highest paid running back right now, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be.
Maybe that's an AZ thing. Remember I tell you they paid David Johnson crazy too, man. He was like, yo, all right. That's what we're doing? Okay, all right. Yeah.
AJ Martinez just showing us some support. Jacob Herbst saying everyone overhyping Matthew. Draft scene or Brisker round 1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we don't address safety, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Round 1.
Yeah, whether it's Matthew or Edmonds, we're gonna have to address that position right now because
there's some other guys out there. I don't know if you like kind of perks your interest. Landon Collins, Jabril Peppers. Yeah. Any of those guys interest you at all?
I was going to get to those guys when we got to, potential free agency moves. That's the next topic. That's why I was like, man, I'm going to get to it because we really about to talk about it. I just want to catch up on these supers first before we go that route because we know that's going to be a whole another rabbit hole we're going to go down.
All right, works for me. Yeah. David Shipley says, modern times, trim the bush.
Make sure you use the Manscaped as well, man. All right, promo code Moats. Get you 20% off of your free shipping while you trimming that thing, all right?
It would be funny if we traded Bush or we cut Bush and then Colbert came out with a press conference and said, yeah, we had to make this move, and I made sure I used promo code Moats when I did it.
It wouldn't surprise me, It wouldn't surprise me. Kevin, hey, Mose, what's that promo code again? No, he says Arthur. Arthur, what's that promo code again? Tell him it's Moats. It's Moats, baby. That's all you need to know. If you want, I'll come in there and put my Manscaped shirt on. We get full advertisement going as well.
John Trott.
Salute you,
also
John.
just
We
giving us some
appreciate you,
support.
baby.
Farron Bradford. It's his first round luxury pick. Who would you guys rather have? I'm going to say Jordan Davis or receiver. Williamson are my choices. One of those two. It's Jameson Williams, right?
You kind of mix it together. It's all good. Jameson Williamson. Yeah. We know who you're talking about. It's all good.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm not shaming you with that because I would do something very similar.
That's what I would do.
AJ Martinez.
Well, hold on. Which one would you go with, though? Oh, who would you go with, though?
Between those two?
Yeah.
Luxury pick? Mm-hmm. Wow. As we sit right now, I would actually go receiver. Yeah. But I'm assuming we address receiver at one point in free agency just to get a third guy in there. Yeah. If that happens, I'm going Jordan Davis.
Fair enough. Yeah, for me, man, as it sits today, I'm with you. I do think I would go wide receiver. I would definitely go Jameson. Like you said, he's coming off the injury, but we think his ceiling is going to be really high. And he addresses a need that we have, man, in terms of needing a legit burner, a guy that can take the top off of defense. He, for a fact, does that. And, I mean, technically right now we still do have Tyson and Tuitt. So if we got Tyson and Tuitt, I just feel like, you can, if you needed to pass up on D-line, you could push that off a little bit because you have those guys in place. Now, that could change. If Tuitt changes his mind or new information pops up with that situation, then 100% I'm going Davis. But as it stands right now, we don't have that information that says he's not going to be available. So that's the only reason why, for me, like I said, I would roll with Jameson right now.
AJ Martinez. Provocative thought from Wednesday.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Can Trubisky be dynamic like Cordell? He's looking at the two number 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that Trubisky could be Cordell-esque. Am I crazy? Would we be a force in the AFC? He's not going to be as dynamic as Cordell. He could probably be a better passer.
Mm-hmm.
He can move, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy. For me, man, I'm just taking the wait-and-see approach. I feel like we're either going to talk Mitch into a Hall of Famer today, or we're going to talk him into being the worst quarterback ever. That's just what we do when we have a free agent signing or a new addition to a team. So for me, I've spoke my piece on this. I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, why are you bashing Mitch, because I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to bash him in that capacity. But I'm just taking the wait-and-see approach. I want to see, number one, does he beat out Mason Rudolph? Because when you look at the money all of a sudden now, it's not that big of a difference between,
5 guaranteed?
Yeah, you are correct on that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that don't scream you to guaranteed starter money, especially with Mason already getting 5 this year as well. So that's why for me, I was like, hey, I just want to see how everything plays out, man. Because I thought his contract would definitely be a little bit more, not like crazy front loaded, but I just thought it would be a little bit structured differently where, if he wasn't the starter, you would kind of be like, dang, why we got to be paying that for him to be sitting behind somebody? But seeing the money that he got guaranteed and seeing it's more incentives, I was like, oh, okay. So this is not this crazy, deal. It's not this big market thing. And it was like, all right, I think that if you Mason, my mindset, if you Mason is, you looking at that like, bro, I think I like me better than you. And you roll with it. That's all I'm saying, man. So we will see. Is he capable of it? Yes. Okay. He is definitely capable of it. What would be a force in the AFC? Well, that's TBD right now because the AFC is continuing to get more and more talent. I don't know if y'all heard, but arguably the number 1 receiver in the league right now just also joined the AFC. It's just a lot of talent coming over to this side of the conference in the NFL, man. But yeah, as long as the defense plays to the level that they're capable of, San Fran, Tennessee are prime examples. They've done big winning. They've been in AFC championship games, NFC championship games. One team has played in the Super Bowl, and they didn't have an all-world quarterback. As long as everything around you is playing the way they're supposed to, yeah, you can still win like that, and you can still be a force like that. But we just know, like I said, the margin of error is just it's small. That's the biggest difference with it.
Some of these recent moves has made me forget about Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Watson who?
Yeah.
The defense that we're signing up right now all of a sudden got me thinking Trubisky's a little better. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The defensive players we're signing. Trubisky.
Right, see?
All of a sudden.
And all of a sudden. I just say, I'm not falling into this trap. I already know what this look like.
I'm getting hype, man. I'm getting hype.
We over here like, man, Mitch better than Mahomes. Yeah, he can do what Mahomes can do. Like, all right, here we go.
We won't go that far.
Right.
We won't go that far.
Okay.
But being a force in the AFC North right now, listen, we need another move or two right now in free agency, and we'll see how the draft plays out. But, man, I'm liking our chances a lot.
Yeah.
Let's go, UW. How about instead of Zach Banner Tuesdays, how about Tyson Tuesdays?
Tyson the homie, man. That's definitely the homie, man. I haven't decided. I haven't even thought about it yet, man, honestly, for the season. But, yeah, man, Tyson the homie, man. That's my guy. It would be fun having the broski on the show, man. We might look into that a little bit, man. We'll see. We taking our time right now, though, man. Reassessing. It's still the off season, baby. All right, and I ain't even.
That's not a bad suggestion.
You know what I'm saying? All right, but I would, I do hope that whoever it is, if we decide to do it again, we gotta make sure they're out there. I know Tyson coming off injury. I make sure. I'm not gonna lie. It was the first time doing it, man. I might be a little scarred right now. Like, man, he was hurt all year. I mean, it was cool, but dang.
Banner was really.
It was
good,
like it was the only thing difference was like I said, he was just hurt. He wasn't out there. That's the only part that sucked, man. Yeah.
Russell Schwartz. Moats, what about Landon Collins? Make that Alabama connection.
You know, it's getting real, man. It's definitely getting real. And I do like Landon a lot. Like I said, I definitely think that he can help us in some ways, man. Oh, all right. So this is what we'll do then. Because I'm going to say, I see a ton more supers coming in.
Oh, yeah.
We'll read off a couple more, then we'll go ahead and start talking. Because I feel like the safety stuff is going to keep coming up. And I do want us to hit that as well, man. So we'll stop at Sean Diddy 6. All right, we'll go down to there, and then after that, man, we'll roll and talk about some of these DBs, and then we'll get back into super. Sound good?
Yeah. Did he just give support here? Am I wrong?
I think he did it twice. I see him up here.
Sean Diddy 6.
Oh yeah, he just did support 2 times. All right. So yeah, we'll stop at King Stacks then. Go to King Stacks.
Okay. Well, I think I lost you a little bit here because, the super chats are rolling in. Big shout out to you guys. I'm on Steeler Nation on fire, a blue one.
All right. Oh, you're not far away then. Okay, we're good. All right, so the next one was from AJ Martinez. Like you said, now he calls it Mike Tyson Tuesdays. Great idea from the chat. See, the thing is, when we thought it was...
That's a good impression.
All right, stop it, man. I don't want no problems with Mike, man. Mike. I'm chill. I ain't playing with you like that, baby.
You're right. One day he might think that impression's amazing.
Yeah.
Another day, that's not that funny.
Yeah. I don't like this right there. When the thing is, man, I'm a Steelers fan as well. When you over here talking about my list and everything like that, man. If I hit you what if I fuck you in your jaw? How would you feel about that? You see my pigeons, right? I'm good, Mike. Nah, bro, I love you, baby. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. But that would be dope, man. But I think he's out the budget. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. He's out the budget. Okay, we ain't doing all that because now you tap into the personal. We ain't tapping into the personal chest. All right, this is the work chest, not the personal chest. Mike gonna tap into that personal chest to get him on this. Maybe down the line. Yeah. We ain't doing all that, man. Sometimes you got to take a chance to make your show blow up. I mortgaged the house to get Mike Tyson on the show. It worked out great. I don't want that energy. I'm cool. Okay, that sounds like work to me, and I don't want to work. I'm retired. Okay, I'm embracing that. Namaste. We did have Sean Diddy 6 though, just showing support, man, twice with us, man. We greatly appreciate you for that. Black and Martyr also showing some support as well, man. Big time salute to you, team captain. We always rocking with you as well. Then from there, man, we got King Stacks. He says we have 600 people. Actually, we have about 765 people in here. He says we need more likes. Now, the likes, y'all, I've seen y'all on the front and y'all been hitting them, but we need a little bit more. It said 200, 219-ish right now. And he said, let's make it, let's get the ratio balanced out a little bit, right? We don't want it to be 3-1 like, Mason Rudolph, 3-1, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks. We don't want that stat. We need to be more like a 30 for 30 then, So if it's 700 people in there, why can't we get 700 likes at the same time? It ain't that hard. Click, click, click. You know what I mean? So that's that whole ordeal right there, ladies and gentlemen. But we greatly appreciate everybody that's rocking with us today. Now you're at Steel Nation on fire. All right.
Who the Steelers gonna get as the return man?
Big question. Ooh. Yeah.
Run it back with Deontay.
He was an all-pro, huh? How you feel?
AB, return specialist.
Oh, AB's on Donda duty right now. He's trying to buy teams, if I remember correctly. Didn't he say he's trying to buy 2 teams this year? Is it Denver?
I don't know.
I thought it was
I can't
Denver
keep
and the
up.
Dolphins. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, if he's available, and everything is clear with him, he checks on these well, because I know he has the ankle injury. I know, he's dealing with some stuff. It's like, if everything checks out, though, I'm cool with it. Yeah.
Who's out there? Return man. I don't know.
Yeah.
McFarland? Can he do something?
Well, yeah, but he's more of a kickoff return guy than a punt return guy.
That's what I thought too. Do we trust him on punt returns like that?
I ain't gonna lie. Punt return made me a little more nervous. I want short-handed. I would much rather have a short-handed receiver that's catching that punt than a guy that can give me great return ability, but is iffy catching the ball. You know who we need? Where's Ryan Switzer at? Is Switzer available? Because I know he's going to get possession.
I was
as
thinking
long
the
as
same
we get
thing.
possession, we're fine. He don't drop the ball. So, I mean, in all seriousness, he doesn't. But I'm trying to think, man.
His number's gone, though.
Ooh, you're right. Hold on, let me think though. I thought it was somebody. Oh my goodness. I gotta look. I thought Levi.
I have wide receiver free agent pulled up right now.
Oh man, I think Levi did do some returning.
Amendola?
I think Levi did some returning as well, man. I was like, this is an option. Yeah,
oh really?
Maybe a little option there for punt, but yeah, yeah. But that goes back to the receiver need, right? Whoever we address, hopefully that slot receiver, that third guy that we pick up, does have return man potential because, right now we do have a hole there. Maybe Cordell Patterson, he becomes a lot more interesting as well because he could definitely return. He's definitely a return guy, man.
Has he done punt? I know he's always done kickoff. I assume he would do some punt.
It's different right? in terms of the rotation of the ball and reading the ball. I'd have to look into it, man. I'd have to look into it.
I don't remember seeing any of like his punt returns.
Either. I feel like it's always
they were all kickoff returns.
Yeah, that's the same thing I thought, man.
That's a good point. He's got it. He's got to do a punt return too in his career. He had. It's just a different. Stretch.
Number one is different in terms of reading the ball, the rotation of the ball, how much it can move. On kickoff, man, that ball doesn't rotate too crazy. It's either middle, right, left, right. But it's not a lot of it shows right and then or shows this way and then pulls back that way. It shows here, goes over here and cuts. Because the rotation of the kick. Whereas on those punts, man, that thing can flash here, but when it starts to cut coming across, it can make you get out of position. If you get out of position, that was some of the things that Deontay struggled with early on, remember? And he would be trying to catch it out of his framework because he wasn't centered on the ball. That is one of the issues with returning punts, man, in terms of just how it rotates. And then obviously your margin of error. Or in kickoff, you can drop that ball and it just falls in the end zone. You're good, down it. But on punt, you drop that ball or you bobble it or any, non-clean catch, the likelihood of you having a turnover increases drastically.
Cole Beasley?
I mean, I like Cole. I could definitely see that.
Did he do punt returns?
If I remember correct, I know he's capable of it. I don't think he's ever done anything spectacular as a returner, but if I remember correctly, it's definitely I've seen him back there, whether it was there or when he was in Dallas. I think he has him as well.
Deshaun Jackson?
Well, D-Jax, we know with him, number one, did he say his dad's a Steelers fan or something like that? If I remember. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Just assume that he'll be off the team about halfway through the season.
Here you go.
That's the pace he's on right now. That is it not? He's jumping from team to team.
He could give you a solid 6 games, man. After that, it's all right, your services are no longer needed here.
One of those of
100
and a touchdown. 2 catches, 100 and a touchdown.
That is definitely the truth.
One other game he'll reach 30 yards maybe. Then the other ones are less than single digits.
That's funny. Jeez.
Farron Bradford. If we sign defensive tackle Fletcher Cox, Marlon Mack, Traquan Smith, I think we can run the North. It's a good little combo of players. That means we're drafting a safety, I'd assume. Yeah. I think Fletcher Cox is going back to the Eagles. That's what everything's saying.
I saw they're trying to make a deal for him to come back. It would make sense for him, obviously, man. Number one, that's where he's been at his whole career. And he fits their scheme perfectly in terms of him just being a penetrating guy, a guy that is able to just rush the passer, shoot gaps during the run game. Our defense is a little bit different in terms of when it's run game, man. We want those bodies up front. Keep these LBs clear, man. You know what I mean? That's going to be a little bit of a different ask for him. But at the same time, it can still work because we do play a ton of, our sub-package defense where we only have our 4-down defensive linemen. So, yeah, in that sense, it could work. But I definitely think that he's going to be going back to Philly, man. And why wouldn't he want to? That's like I said, where he's been the whole time. He has a running mate in young Javon Hargrave over there coming off the Pro Bowl. Shout out to my dog, Jay Wobble. But, to me, man, I just think they would make more sense for him to just stay there, man, if they can make that money work. Yeah.
Mike Robb. He says Big Peach is South Carolina. So I was wrong on that.
Oh,
is at work, watch nothing. Watch this. At work, watch this. I'm sorry. At work, watch this. Nothing but greatness from Colbert this offseason.
Fair enough. There we go. All right.
Maybe watching this?
Maybe that's what he's saying. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so we'll pause at Mike Robb because our next one will be Derek Nelson. So what we'll do is this. Let me because Derek Nelson also just joined the upper room. So Derek Nelson, first off, baby, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We appreciate you, joining the family, man, showing that support, man. Definitely means a lot to us. And then I thought it was another upper room member as well that joined. I cannot find him or them. Where are they?
I'm looking through right now.
Yeah, because I feel like it was another one I just saw. Oh, here it is. I am what I am TV. I am what I am TV. Appreciate the support and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, baby. I like it. I like it. All right. So got those down. All right. And when we start back up, we will be on Derek Nelson. All right.
Yep.
But with that being said, let's get to this next part of this convo, man, because like I said, man, this has people have been bringing them up, man. In terms of Tyrann Mathieu, Terrell Edmonds, Landon Collins, who's the other safety? I'm drawing a blank. It was another guy that's in this conversation as well.
Jabril Peppers?
Jabril, yep. But in this scenario right here, man, in terms of who we like, what we want, any of these guys, or what we like, what we have with Edmonds. For me personally, right now, I lean Edmonds just because I think he's the cheapest of the group. He already fits what we want. Him and Minka already have a rapport, and they play off of each other extremely well. One guy is the freelancer, the guy that roams in, makes the splash plays in terms of Minka Fitzpatrick. Edmonds is the short tackler, the always available guy, and who we've already talked about him improving his coverage element as well. I think that, you're going to get him $5 million or less. To me, that's awesome value when he's out there every single game, and he's going to be, like I said, continuing to grow and get better, because he's also going to be trying to get paid again, whenever this deal is up, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever. You're gonna get a guy that's going to be looking to get even more money. Whereas when I think of Tyrann Mathieu, love him as a player. I think that, man, he is a freak at safety in terms of the productivity, the splash plays he gives you, the smarts. But I feel like we already have that guy in Minka Fitzpatrick. So it's like, how do we play those guys off each other? Who's going to be that guy that you on the box on those rundowns, making a whole bunch of tackles? Do you want that being Minka? Do you want that being Tyrann? Because I do think that with Tyrann, he's a little bit smaller than Edmonds. That could break him down a little bit more in terms of his body. We know that with the Honey Badger, he has missed more time just due to some of the injuries that he's had. But that is, if we're comparing and contrasting, that is a little bit of a knock on him. But, I mean, obviously, Honey Badger is a phenomenal player, but he's also going to cost a lot more, to me at least. I think that, he still is trying to get those double digits in terms of 10 plus. And that's the part where it's like, I don't want to pay 10 plus for him on the back end of his career. Whereas with Edmonds, he's still very young. Like I said, super athletic and continuing to grow and get better. To me, I just think that it makes more sense from my perspective to go with Edmonds there. And with Collins and Jabril Peppers, they're both good players in their own right as well. But I still think their number is going to be higher. And I don't think that they provide an upgrade over Edmonds in terms of what he does on
at least at this point in their career. Yeah. I know Landon Collins has been a stud in the past, and like Jabril Peppers just hasn't really panned out as well as you thought coming out of college.
Right, but
they got the names.
Landon Collins at this stage, he didn't play like that coming off of this past year or two. Now, has he had great seasons? Sure, but that's not what's happening right now. Whereas Edmonds, we can already point to, has been growing and getting better every time as well. So that's why, for me, like I said, I lean more Edmonds in this scenario, even though Matthews is a better player. I just don't think he fits what we would want him to do here with Minka already in the fold. That's just kind of like how I look at it. But what about you, man? What you thinking on it?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a heart versus mind thing for me. Yeah. My heart is like, wow, dude. Just imagine Minka Fitzpatrick and Tyrann Mathieu. I would love that to happen. So that's why I'm leaning just Tyrann Mathieu because of who he's been as a player. And because you're right, at this point in his career, at 30, are we going to be getting the best value of him? Yeah. Did he give his best years of his career to Kansas City, and now we're kind of getting the leftovers? I still think he could be really good for us. It's just, what's that amount? Yeah. What's that contract going to be? And if it isn't a double digits, it may not be the best value, but the one side of me, the heart's just saying, just do it. Yeah. Just bring him in house. Just get him with Minka Fitzpatrick. This defense could be elite. Yeah. But yeah, outside of him, just throw Evans, bring him back. I think he's been underrated his whole time here in Pittsburgh. And someone even brought up in the chat, no one brings up the availability that Terrell Evans does. He's never hurt. He's always out there. And he's been solid for us. A perfect compliment to Minkah, as you mentioned. Like, that's why I do want him back. I wanted him back before free agency started. I didn't even want him to be out on the open market. But now that he is, and we're talking about Honey Badger, that's got me thinking some different things. But I still want Evans back, and especially if we're saying his market might be going down a little bit as time goes on. This could make perfect sense for us.
Yeah, that's definitely my sentiment. And this is the thing, too. I mean, if you bring in Honey Badger, like I said, it still would work. My whole thing is, do you want to pay Honey Badger what you're going to have to pay him, and potentially him or Minkah be playing out of position at some times? You know, and you're hoping that when they're out of position, they can still give you, you know, good quality. But like I said, one of them is going to be out of position because you're going to be asking one of those guys to be doing something that they're not typically accustomed to doing, or they don't specialize in that. That's my only thing. It's like, I do think that, hey, man, on passing downs, it'll be a great scenario. You have two ultra athletic, super savvy, ball hawking safeties back there. But when teams are trying to run this ball, one of these guys can be put in a compromising position, man. And that, to me, is the biggest difference with it, man.
Yeah, and if we don't get either one of them too,
yeah,
I'm hoping then we address other parts of the team where it makes it so obvious that we're just going to take safety in one of the first 2 rounds then.
Yeah.
Because
but
do
honestly,
we feel that good about bringing in Landon Collins or Jabril Peppers if we don't sign Matthew or Terrell Evans? Like, how good do you feel about just bringing them in and then maybe passing up on a safety in the first or second round?
I would probably go Collins if I was picking between those two. Like, if it came down to that, I would definitely go Collins over Jabril. But at the same time, I would still be
hope the number's good.
Yeah, I just want the number to be good. Because I remember, you know, with him, he wanted that was part of the reason why he even got traded initially. It was like he wanted more money. And it's like, man, I just don't think that he's going to want to get a deal that we're potentially going to give to Edmonds, like I said, around that 5 or less. Like, I just don't think that Landon would want to do something like that, man. But with me, man, like I said, with Edmonds, he just checks a lot of those boxes in. I mean, it's kind of unfair comparing Edmonds to Tyron because they are 2 different players. It's like when you hear people compare Troy Polamalu to Ed Reed. It's like they're both great, but they're different. Like, their games are very different in terms of what they, you know, their skill sets are and what you're asking each of those guys to do. So when we think of the Honey Badger, we think of the splash and the excitement, but that's a very different style of responsibility than what we ask Edmonds to do. You know, so once again, man, it's just like, I think Edmonds is the best option. It makes the most sense to me because cost, age, availability, fit, comfort with Minkah, you have this guy and he's homegrown. Like, that's why for me, I just say, man, I'd much rather have him over any of these other options that we're talking about, including the draft right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
You want me to bring up any receivers?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Julio.
Especially, man, because we're in that market. Hey. And you brought him up, man, before all this even started too, saying like, man, we just need kind of I don't think you said it directly.
Oh, a veteran guy.
It was like a veteran guy
who we got on the roster. Yeah.
He was the guy that you mentioned, like, hey, like a Julio type. Well, now we don't
AJ Green. It was AJ Green.
Type. Yeah, it was AJ Green, but we said a Julio type though. I think that's like verbatim what you called it. And it's like, man, as soon as I saw him release, I was like, Deke, you called Myles Jack. I'm just saying, what's up, baby?
Kind of low key.
I'm saying, what's up? How you feeling? Was it Deke? Was it Deke? Deke? Nostradamus. I was say, I knew it was something like that. Nostradamus, Dekestramus. Yeah, Nostradamus. How you feeling about this, man?
Well, I'm already seeing Julio Jones is connected to the Bucs. Of course, he's connected to the Bucs. Is Adrian Peterson still connected to the Bucs somehow?
Everybody's going to the Bucs. You know that, man. Everybody. I think Debo, I saw him lifting weights, 1,000 pounds between his legs. He said he's going to Tampa. It's crazy. Everybody's going to Tampa right now, man. I think we're going to move the podcast to Tampa, too, now that I think about it, man. I kind of like it down there. I think that's where we're going to need to go next.
Whoa. Got to keep it Steeler content, though, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Julio to the Bucs. I think there was another connection to the Packers.
Yeah.
I'm still seeing AJ Green available, though. The concept is still there. Maybe it's not Julio. Maybe it is AJ Green. Maybe that's who we could pick up.
Well, yeah, and I do think that
T.Y. Hilton, 32. He's veteran.
He is. I think Ty cost the most out of the group though. I think AJ Green is probably the most cost efficient option. And he was pretty healthy last year, considering. Like, we know he had his time, especially at the end of Cincinnati, where he was missing a ton of time, man. But, if he's healed up and he's good to go, it's like, man, in a limited capacity, we're not having to overwork this guy. I do like it because, like I said, you have a Deontay Johnson here, you have a Chase Claypool here, so we're not asking him to come in and be wide receiver one. We just need him to be that veteran presence. We need him to give you, the one thing that these guys haven't been able to do consistently in terms of taking the top off of defense. I mean, you can roll with that. And like I said, man, he would be cheap. Well, Julio fired though, bro. Is Julio in?
I think he can still play. I think AJ Green can still play. He had over 800
That's what
yards
I'm saying.
last year.
Last year was a good resurgence for him. Julio, though, it's Julio. It's kind of like when we bring up AB. It's like, oh, it's AB. It's Julio. It's Hopkins. Like, those are those type of guys. So, yeah. I mean, shoot. I still think Julio can get it done. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he can definitely get it done still, man. How much would you pay for him? That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question, man. How much you willing to pay for him?
If he's going to the Bucks, he's probably taking like $4 million.
Yeah.
If he's going to any other team, it's probably gonna be a little bit more expensive. I think. I don't think that much. I don't think he's gonna be getting more than double digits. I think he's gonna be back on like a 1 year prove it deal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
7 or 8 million, man. I'd say.
That was definitely kind of what
I think that'd be worth it. Just to bring him in house.
If you get him, like I said, in that 7-8 range, anything under double digits, I'd definitely make that move, man, because he makes your team better and it helps the quarterback situation out. You want guys that have big catch radiuses. You want guys that create separation because all of that helps our quarterback situation where you might not have the most accurate guy, the most consistent guy. The more separation you get, the more open you can get, the better it's going to be for these quarterbacks, man. And that's the part for me where it's like, yeah, if you got a guy like Julio available or a guy like AJ Green or a T.Y. Hilton and the numbers make sense, man, don't waste time. Go get that guy because that is going to help Mitch in that capacity or Mason, Haskins, whoever else.
So if we have the option, because obviously Juju's still available, like Juju versus Julio or an AJ Green, I would want to go. Even if Julio or AJ Green costs a little bit more, I think I'd just rather go with them because someone brought this up in my Twitch chat the other day. If we bring back Juju, doesn't it just feel like doing a bunch of the same stuff we've been doing these past couple years, especially as our receiver core position? Where it's like, I kind of want that era to be over. I kind of want the TikTok era, whatever it is. Like if we bring in Julio Jones or AJ Green, I feel like there's a breath of fresh air. There's something different.
Did you call it the TikTok era? Is that what I just heard?
No, someone said that in the Twitch chat, and I was like, you know what? He has a point. He kind of has a point, no?
No, he does. He does, man. And honestly, I'm with you. I don't think, bringing Juju back makes a lot of sense just because, like you said, it seems real repetitive. And we know Juju, number one, he wins, but he doesn't win by separation. He wins with body position and the ball being placed with pinpoint accuracy. Well, if we don't feel like, Mitch, Mason, or Haskins currently are operating in a surgeon-like or Hall of Fame quarterback-like manner in terms of their accuracy, because you think with Ben could put that ball right here, right? We would see Juju how many times on a linebacker or a safety, and it's not separation, but the ball placement is on the back of a helmet, and Juju's doing what? Going up there and getting that ball. How confident are we that Mitch or any of these quarterbacks that we're talking about can do that and do it on a consistent enough basis to make Juju really be his productive self? I just don't know if they're capable of doing that to that level. And that's the biggest reason why, for me, I would much rather go with the guy that can get that type of separation and they could do it in a hurry, because that's ultimately going to help these quarterbacks out as they continue to develop and progress. I mean, if you're Juju too, man, I'm seeing reports about, going to Green Bay after the Devontae Adams trade. I'm like, man, you go there, get you back with a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, a guy with pinpoint accuracy. He's going to help you out in a major way. That's kind of like how I would view it for Juju. Now, I don't know, if he likes that area or not, man. Who knows? But that's kind of what I'm thinking, man. But I still, man, I'm not against Cole Beasley, though, dude. Like, seeing him get released from Buffalo. He's the
Will
slot
Fuller,
receiver.
Jarvis Landry, these some other names out there.
Absolutely. Like, for me,
Sammy Watkins.
I definitely like the Cole Beasley move. I think that he's cost efficient. He addresses our slot need 100%. And he's, like I say, he's a consistent player in terms of he catches the ball, man. He's tough as nails. He runs after the catch. Like, he gets separation. I do like that, you know. So, and obviously he was a former Buffalo Bill, and we have a good track record right now with Bills players, you know. The track record is good. We're going to keep it going. All right. So that's the other reason why it's like I think that, you know, he could help us out, man. Will Fuller, I mean, who wouldn't want him? But once again, what's it going to cost for Will? Because I think that his market is still going to be higher than a Cole Beasley right now.
Longer we wait, though, I would assume it goes down.
Yeah. But how much, right? And that's the part. Exactly. It's like, man, like, how much are we talking about it going down before he just says, man, I'd much rather just take this offer right here, you know? And that's the only thing. Whereas with Cole, I don't think that his number is going to get anywhere near that level just yet, man.
No, it could be the perfect fit. And he still played fine last year.
Yeah, and all of those guys that we're talking about too, man, I do like how we have different tiers of them, right? When we talk about your high paid tier, your Julios, T.Y. Hilton, AJ Green types, it's like, okay, we get that. Then we talk about that second tier in the sense of when we said, Cole Beasley, man, would you bring in a Will Fuller? Now, granted, Will can still get paid.
I think like Will Fuller's going to get paid the most out of all those guys, actually.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying, like, in terms of, like, who we view as, like, more proven, more talented. Yes, Will is definitely going to be the marquee name that gets that check because of, number one, age. You know what I mean? The other guys,
he just hurt all the time.
Yeah, but I do think he's going to get paid the most of that group. But in terms of when we think of Will Fuller versus Julio, we wouldn't take, you know, Will over Julio if both of these guys are healthy and good to go. That's all I'm saying with that thing, man. But like
I do think that whole veteran presence in the locker room does add to it, though. Like with Julio, that's why I would want him or AJ Green. Not only do I still think they could play, but I would like to get Claypool and Deontay underneath one of those dudes to kind of like show them the ropes.
No, 100%, man, and that could be a huge difference maker in those guys' development, Chase's development. You know what I mean? Like when I think of that, I'm like, man, Chase seeing that guy work every day is very different because his body type, his route running is going to be similar to what Chase does. Whereas when Chase is working with Deontay, those dudes are apples to oranges. You know, so he doesn't know, like, I feel like I'm working hard. Maybe I am working hard. Who are you looking at? Who do you look to and see if you are or not? But with a Julio there, with an AJ Green there, it's like, nah, they're going to show you the level. They're going to show you how to watch tape. They're going to show you how to address certain things from a technical standpoint. And that, to me, is very, very much the added interest, the residual income off of a move like that if you're talking about a Julio or AJ Green specifically.
Yeah. Anyone else we're missing that we might be looking to sign outside of receiver,
right,
safety?
Allen Robinson's already gone. He signed the big deal to go to L.A.
That Trubisky connection. We thought we could have it back.
Yeah. Well, you saw what Trubisky said. He was with James Daniels. You know, when he signed, I was like, yo, all right, I let me find out y'all actually was close. That's good to see, man. I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Linebacker? Hold on. I'm pulling up linebacker right now. This would be kind of like the Devin Bush replacement, maybe. Oh, Bobby Wagner's still out there.
B-Wags, absolutely.
Hightower? Van Noy?
I mean, all of those guys you can make work. All of them you can
make work. Did Van Der Esch sign with the Cowboys?
I did not see, actually. I haven't checked that just yet. But honestly, man, if we're talking about Cal Van Noy, I mean, yeah, he's a heady player, super smart. He can make plays for us. I'm kind of leaning towards, like, I think I would want to draft one of these dudes, you know? That's kind of like my mindset.
I like Devin Lloyd, man. I'm still high on him.
Yeah.
I think that could be the play.
Yeah, that's kind of like my mindset with it, man. Absolutely.
Corners, I mean, I wouldn't be thinking corners, but we got both Witherspoon and Wallace back on amazing deals. Like, is Gilmore completely out of place, though?
I don't think he's out of place, but I don't think that they would. I mean, they could double dip in there, but to me, I just think, once again, with that, why wouldn't you just go ahead and draft one of these younger corners, right? A guy's going to be a lot cheaper, whether it's Sauce Gardner potentially. Now, obviously, you know, he might be able, he might not. But, like, I think of, like, the corner, or even we talked about the dude from LSU, was it Derek Stingley Jr.? Like, I think of him, and I'm like, man, I just think, like, you're getting a younger guy, mixing him in there with Levi, mixing him in there with Ahkello and Cam. You can make it work like that and have more of a long-term answer as well going forward. Whereas with Gilmore, he's going to cost a lot, like we talked about, and you just don't know how long we're talking about having him either here. You know, whether it's a 2-year, 3-year type of situation. That's kind of like I said for me, man, where I'm like, I would much rather kind of wait a little bit and go draft the guy now that we have Ahkello back in the fold.
Yeah, that's the thing too. We already have our 2 outside guys because you didn't sign Levi Wallace or Ahkello Witherspoon to move into the slot at any point.
Yeah.
So you signing a guy in a way, I could see where Witherspoon or Wallace would kind of like turn aside eyes. Like, bro, I thought this was the lineup we're going with here. I'm on the outside, so is Levi Wallace. So wouldn't bringing in an extra guy like mess that up a little bit?
Yeah, it would in a sense, man. It would in a sense. But that's why I said, like, they still have flexibility, though. Like, and that's, like I said, they're not pigeonholed. They got options of how they want to do it, but we're just kind of going through the different versions of how they can improve it in that sense, man, or how they can add one of these guys, man.
Because I was trying to think that last night. Is there a way Joe Hayden comes back?
Yeah.
But that would mean Joe Hayden is probably good taking just on a lesser role at this point. I don't know if that's the case.
And I don't think he would want to personally, man. And I mean, it's hard, man. You go from being the man here to now you're talking about, hey, be the third corner, Joe, or be the second corner, Joe. You're like, what? What's this? When we start doing that? That's all.
Yeah. Anyone else you got thoughts on?
I still want us to get a running back personally.
Patterson, he's still out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, whether it's Patterson, do we get any new information
he could
about
be that third receiver for us
also,
too?
Do we get any information about Tariq Cohen? Has he signed anywhere yet? Because I'm trying to think. He was another guy that we saw got released from Chicago right, in that same time frame of free agency starting. I know Marlon Mack was a name we talked about. Yeah,
bringing in the Bears.
Right.
No, yeah, there's nothing on Google for Tariq Cohen right now.
Cordell was a former Bear too. We just got the whole Chicago connection, right? I didn't even think about it, bro. Oh man, all right. Maybe we don't need to keep going to the Chicago well. Okay, we can leave the Chicago well alone. We'll go, like I said, Marlon.
Maybe
Mack,
it's a good thing though. Maybe it's because oh no, we believed in Trubisky. That's why we want to run it back with him. It's just we saw it firsthand. Chicago messing him up.
Like I said, man, you saw what Cordell was able to do in Atlanta. Whether he was at running back, when they were trying to use him, a little bit, in the slot, catching some passes. Like, the dude is dynamic. He really came into his own in Atlanta and was super productive in that role. To me, man, Cordero or Marlon, I would love Marlon here. Like, I want to know, like, what his market is right now. Because if you could get him less than 5, I think you can get him, in that 3 range. Why not?
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Why not get him in here, man? Like, that instantly helps out Najee in a major way, man. And you have a bona fide RB2. Like, you have that combo, like we've talked about, whether it was with the L. Bell and D'Angelo Williams type vibe, where it's like, man, you got 2 strong guys, 2 guys that complement each other so well, and you don't feel a major drop off, when one is out there versus the other and stuff like that, man.
So SpotRack has Marlon Mack's calculated market value at $2.5 million.
Come on, baby. Go ahead, call him up. Give him a little ice on the cake. Give him the 3. All right, give him the 3, and we roll like that, man.
We got Cordell Patterson's market value too. Ooh, this is bad. They have it 9. Come on. 9? They're saying 2 years, 18 mil.
Deke, I don't want it for 9, bro. Deke, I don't want it for 9, baby. Oh,
I don't think I do either. I think this is an overestimation.
9? Oh, I don't want it for 9. No.
I could see a team doing it though, and they're gonna regret it.
Yeah, I don't want it for 9, man. I don't want it for 9, man. Whew.
Because is his last season replicable? At age, he's 31.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be paying him for last season. I'd be paying him for if you come in and you do 70% of what you did last year.
Right.
Like, that's a huge success for the team.
Right. I would agree.
I'm not expecting you to part waters or anything here.
Yeah. And we don't need that either. We got talent already there. Yeah. It's just 9. I'm cool on that one, man. Marlon, you said 2.5. Could have been 3.25. Huh? 3.25, and I'll take you to Primates. Could that work for you? Because if that works, then I'm all down. That's kind of my thought process with it, man. But I don't
Sounds
want
like a
Cordell
great
at
deal.
9, bro. I don't want Cordell at 9. Give me Marlon. I'm gonna take him, like I said, 3.25. We're gonna go to Manny's. I'm gonna take him. You're gonna go to you're gonna get, right on the ice at the Pens game. I'm gonna even take you see some Pirates game. We might get season tickets for the Pirates. I know, it's a little cheaper. Get season tickets for the Pirates. We could do that. But yeah, I don't want Cordell at 9. I just can't. Not 9.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
All right, you want to get in the super chat again?
Yeah. We should be at Derek Nelson. He was the one we stopped off on. Should say so to start. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get this right.
Let's see what your screenshot game was like, man. If you had him screenshotted or not, man.
I thought I did. The problem is now they're getting all bunched up. You might have to take over on these because I got them all out of order. Dave Shipley? Oh, is that what it is?
No. I'm Derek. All right. Dave Shipley. Okay, so if that's your last one, I can get to you. We'll be good. I'll get to you.
Dude, honestly, I would say just you take over because I have these things all out of order right now.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah. I have them, but they're all out of order. I'll be botching them up left and right.
All right. All good. So wherever you're at right now,
I'm at Juicebox 32.
I bet. So yeah, you lock in on Juicebox 32. Yeah, you lock in on Juice. Oh Lord. Hey now, yeah, you do. It's all good. It's a great situation though. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us this morning, man. This is not a bad thing. This is awesome.
Feeling good on a Friday morning.
Heck yeah, man. So we're gonna keep it rolling then. All right. Derek Nelson though, he says, so to start, I wanted to join the upper room on your birthday when I realized we both was Pisces gang. Hey, shout out to the Pisces in the building. He's February 28th. Obviously, on March 14th. He says, but I got it now. LOL, love watching. Derek, man, we definitely appreciate your support, man. And shout out to you. Even the thought of you doing it on the birthday, to me, that's like a birthday gift. So I greatly appreciate you. Namaste, my Pisces brother. Yes, indeed. Then from there, we had Gunny New. He says, Tyron Matthew, Minka Fitzpatrick, Ahkello Witherspoon, Levi Wallace, and Trey Norwood would be a crazy dime package. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you talk about that group. I mean, you got speed, you got playmaking ability, ball hawk, smarts. I mean, I love those guys in pass-only situations, without a doubt. But problem is, we got to stop this run. And that is where I'm like, man, who do we want in that box? Because we know with Edmonds a 100-plus tackle guy. Like, easy, he does that. Any tackles at a very high level, he doesn't miss a ton of tackles. You're just going to be asking Minka or Tyron to be doing a lot more of that heavy lifting than they're accustomed to doing, man. No. All right. Then after that, Cam Letson. Shout out to Cam Letson as well. He says, Moats, are you in L.A.? Well, I'm like 40 minutes. I'm in Ventura County. I think that's what you call it, Ventura, almost like Oxnard area. He says, when the in-person show coming back? Also, day 3 of signing, say Juju back. Or saying sign Juju back, hashtag Super Bowl caliber defense. The in-person shows will be coming back very soon. We got this show, and then we'll have a show on Monday. Then after that, I will be returning home, but I'm taking some time off. Okay? So we'll take a little bit of a week off, and then after that, we'll return after that. So it'll be that following Wednesday. I'll give you the dates and all that stuff on Monday's show. Y'all ain't about to have me working that hard on a Friday, baby. But yeah, after that, then, man, we'll get this thing back rolling in some capacity, man, throughout the rest of the off season. But yeah, we kind of talked about the Juju thing, man. I would much rather go a different direction than bringing him back, just because, like I said, we just feel like it's repetitive. It's the same thing, and it's not going to move our needle one way or the other in terms of improving us. But I do agree with the hashtag Super Bowl caliber defense. We're probably one more piece away. Like I said, we got to address the safety thing and figure out what we're doing D-line wise. But once we get those two things situated, I'm with you. I do think that we're right there because you got everything else you need. You got your corners. You got your pass rushers. You have your big-time D-tackle and Cam. You got Myles Jack. I mean, you got playmakers, studs at every level right now, this defense. Yeah, it's definitely in that range right now, man. All right. Hollywood 931. He says, if Stingley Jr. is there after pick 12, can you see us moving up to get him, Moats? Whew. I would want us to if that was the move, but at the same time, I don't think we have to. I think that depending on how we play out the rest of this free agency, you could sit back and just see who falls to you at 20. I don't think it has to be, a crazy thing, but I don't hate it if they do that because Stingley would definitely come in here, and even though we already feel really good about our group now, he would make us feel great about that group, if that makes sense, man. What you think about that, Deke? How you feeling, man? Would you trade it for him?
No, I don't think you got to make a move like that. I think you're right. Whether it's receivers, whether it's cornerbacks, whether it's just Jordan Davis slipping to it, someone's going to fall.
Somebody has
Someone's
to
going to fall.
Someone's going to fall. Yep.
Yeah, 100%. So I would just sit back, see how the board falls. Hopefully it's actually Devin Lloyd. That's why I want to fall.
I do too, bro.
That's all. Yeah, I don't think you gotta do anything egregious here and trade up.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Derek Nelson. He says, I guess I'm just not as excited about Mitch like I am about the rest of the guys we picked up. But I guess that might be because the last 18 years I've been spoiled with number 7 every year. Would love to see us get Malik or Pickett if still there. Yeah, Derek, I can understand your sentiment, man. It's a very big difference between Ben Roethlisberger, especially prime Big Ben, who we saw for a lot of his career here, versus what we're going to be potentially getting from Mitch or others. And that's the difference also. It was never a Ben or whoever else. It was like, nah, we know Ben is the guy. Clear cut. It's no debate. Whereas right now, it still is a possibility where it's like, man, we don't necessarily know 100% he's the guy just yet. So I can understand you feeling like that. But in terms of going to draft Malik or Kenny Pickett, if you're playing the long game, sure. Because we said with Malik, we don't think that he's coming in and being the starter day one. They're going to want to develop him. But if you think that he can develop into, that potential that we talked about, I know we throw out the name Vic all the time as is associated with Malik because of the running ability and the strong arm. If he develops into that type of situation, then you have you hit majorly on the draft. But at the same time, you're going to be dealing with this season not having first round talent out there because you spent that first round pick on one of these two quarterbacks, and we just don't think that they're going to be the starters day one this year. So that's the only reason why I don't want to take one of those guys this year in the draft, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm with you. It's just like, what's the point?
Yeah. Especially
with all these moves that we made in free agency, we are built to win now. I think. Yeah. I mean, outside of the uncertainty at quarterback,
right?
But if any one of those dudes can step up with how we've done our free agency thus far, we should have a really good team.
I would agree, man. I would agree. So that's why I'm like, I don't want us to not have a first round talent out there because he's sitting on the bench holding the clipboard. It's like, man, go get you somebody that we know can help us, somebody that we know can have an impact this season, because the way the roster is set up, we have everything in place. It can be the 49ers model. It can be the Titans model if those guys play up to the potential. I just don't see why you wouldn't want to add another talented piece to that, All right.
100%.
Next up is Jake Cuff. He says, morning, fellas. Beautiful Friday in Pennsylvania. He says, Emmanuel Sanders is still available. Would it benefit Claypool and Deontay to have a vet wide receiver in the room? Yeah, we definitely agree. And we've talked about this numerous times now that, a veteran presence, man, is a massive, addition to the room, regardless of how productive he is, just teaching those guys work ethic and the mentality of being in this limelight now, right? That's different. In terms of Emmanuel Sanders, I enjoyed him when he was in Buffalo. Everywhere he's been successful, whether that was New Orleans, when he was out on the West Coast. He's done, some really impressive things. I don't know the relationship between him and the Steelers because I know he was here early in his career and then left. You might have more background info on that. Was it bad terms, good terms? You tell me.
It was fine terms until he took a shot at Ben.
I remember when he took the shot because that was my first year here. And he was like, man, playing with Peyton, this is different. Like, I remember that. I remember the whole, I remember that. But like I said, I just don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine terms. It was just like, all right, you got receiver. It wasn't the end of the world for us to lose him. So it was just, all right, you're on to Denver. But then, he made that comment about Ben. So it was bad terms from that standpoint. But no, I don't think it. Especially Ben's gone now, but we were even talking about Sanders coming back with Ben being here. We didn't think it was that big of a deal.
I just didn't know the relationship, man. But if he's available, I don't think his market would be too crazy based on what he signed last year to go to Buffalo. And
was he talking about retiring?
He flirted with it, but he never confirmed anything. That's the only thing with him. Yeah. Because he's what, 32? 32, 33? Yeah.
32, 33. The concept's there, just bringing in a veteran receiver. So he would work. He would fit the bill.
No, he definitely would, man. All right. Dave Shipley says, this offseason is like Christmas every day. Present after present. Nah, you're right, man. Every time I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, alert, alert. All right, we got action. I like that part, man. But no, it's definitely felt like that, man. All right. Then we got Destin versus the World. It says Deke and Moats. Loving the moves we've made so far. So excited for the season. Feeling good going into the draft. Sunday's my 21st. So I'll be on that Mitch pack. Cheers. Hey. Whoa. Destin versus the World. Happy birthday. Turn up, turn up, turn up on your birthday, baby. Get on that Mitch pack. Freak it with a little bit of that Mason pack. All right. And then, you know, when you wind it down, get you a little Haskins pack in there as well. All right. I don't want you to shortchange any of these guys. Okay. Treat yourself. It's your birthday. You deserve it. All right. Shout out to you for that, though, man. All right. Juicebox 32 spinning the block on us, showing some support for the Mike Tyson impression.
I'm here. I can read them off.
All right, there we go. Well, hey, man. You know, hey, Juicebox, man, I really appreciate you. You know, showing some love for the guys on the show today, man. You know, he got a lot of heart. You know, and I remember, man, when I came out with my edibles with the ear, man, I just, you know, it just make me feel real good about it. So, you know, the Steelers, man, they gonna keep doing what they do, man. You know, it's Iron Mike, man. That's what we do out here, man. Get the pigeons, man. Pigeons are awesome. Nobody ever done anything wrong to a pigeon, man. The pigeons is good people. I like pigeons better than I like people, man. All right, we good now. So shout out to Juicebox one more time.
That's a great A impression.
Man, y'all gonna get me beat up.
I know I can see you're kind of actually scared while doing the impression.
What? I'm gonna be in Vegas with wifey. She can say, "Hey, man, it's Iron Mike. Where you going?" I'm like, "I'm going that way." I don't want to fight him, babe. I don't want no problems. Not with Mike. No.
What's up, boys? First live show since I started working night shift. Love the show. Thanks for helping me get through the long hours. No problem.
Nah, man, salute you, man. I like the fact you're on that grind too, baby. You know, we're here to support you, man. So keep doing your thing, man. Absolutely.
H&M Tavi. How do y'all feel about the O-line? I feel really good about the O-line now. Mm-hmm. And maybe grabbing Fournette as our 1-2 punch for RB.
Dude, I love that. Love that. What's the market for Leonard Fournette? What did he sign when he went to Tampa? I know that was like a stupid under market deal.
Like $3 million or something. Yeah,
it was under market value for him. But if you get him, like I said, 5 is the max I want to pay for any of these veteran running. Well, I don't want to say 7 is the highest I would want to go. But I would prefer to get in that 5 range. But 7 is the absolute highest I would want to go. So if you can get Fournette here for under that price, then I'm down. I just don't want to go higher than that because, like I said, with these free agent running backs, it's just hit or miss. You never know when they're going to fall off that cliff in terms of their explosiveness. And we already have Najee Harris, so I don't want to pay a guy to be RB1 when he's not going to be RB1. I don't want to pay, Fournette RB1 money when he's not going to be, taking 70% of these snaps. It's still going to be Najee. We're going to play through Najee. So that's like my whole thing with that. It really depends like what number we could get him on. But I think it would benefit him though. In the same way it benefited him when he went to Tampa and he had Ronald Jones and he had that whole group of, it was like, oh man, they got this running back and this guy and this guy's there too. It just keeps those guys fresh. And ultimately that's what we're trying to do with Najee. Keep him fresh so when we get to the postseason, we can really, really ride him and go from there.
We got all these connections too to different organizations and teams. Now we got Myles Jack, so maybe Leonard Fournette's feeling a certain way.
Now. He's like, yo, Myles, baby, what's it looking like in Pittsburgh?
We got the Trubisky Bears connection with like Patterson. We already got Daniels in here. We missed out on Allen Robinson, but that's cool. It's
all good. Well, it's all right. We do got the connections rolling though, man, without a doubt.
Yeah, Levi Wallace with the Bills. Does that bring in Cole Beasley or something? Yeah. We got moves to be made.
Well, Mitch Trubisky, maybe that was the reason why Levi came. They were in Buffalo together last year.
Exactly.
We
saw
and maybe that
Mitch's potential.
Come on, baby. Come on now.
Hey, so I missed one. Someone brought up like Dante Jackson for Madden.
Yeah. So Sean 0989 he says, please sign Dante Jackson for Madden purposes. LOL. How you feel about that?
We do got to throw that into consideration.
Okay.
That's another reason why Tyrann Mathieu would be amazing because he's always a good player in Madden.
Oh, what? Come on, man. Yeah, Honey Badger's freaky on Madden, baby.
But no, Dante Jackson, I think he is like one of the fastest corners in Madden. So I get what he's saying there.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. All right.
He's like 98, 99 speed, I think, every year.
All right, man. I'm so, man, my schedule be so crazy over here. I got the game set up in here. I've probably played Duty twice since I've been out here, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's craziness, man.
That's it.
Get on the game, man. Yeah, it's weird, bro. I look at it every day. I'm like, man, I miss you, baby. I miss you. But unfortunately, man, I just ain't got no time.
It's just the time. It's not that the hikes and you doing yoga and stuff making you think, there's more to life than video games.
No, not at all. I ain't going that far. No.
Hey, so where am I at? I'm at Adam Brown. I don't know if that's where I need to be.
We got some in between, so it's all right. I get you. So first, LeVar Dawson, man, just showing a little support. We greatly appreciate you for that. Then Dave Shipley, he says, no belief in Trey Norwood with a question mark. No, it's not that we don't believe in Trey Norwood, but to ask Trey Norwood, who, like you said, is a late round draft pick, to come in and be, what Terrell Edmunds was last year, I think that's asking a lot. That's all, man. I think that's asking a lot from him.
We saw him at safety in the preseason. We were like, we need to cut this guy. But then we moved him to corner for regular season and doing some slot stuff. It worked out a lot better. But no, I do not want him to take on Terrell Edmunds' role. Yeah,
I think that puts too much on him, and I think that makes us feel a little uneasy. Like, I like Norwood in his role that he's currently in. I think that he can continue to develop a little bit more, but I'm just not feeling him trying to come in and replace Edmunds right now. Not with this defense that we have. I don't want to play that game personally. Next up, Caleb Cole. He says, has there been any news on James Washington? Nothing yet. The only Steeler that has signed elsewhere so far has been Ray McLeod. He signed a 2-year deal. I haven't saw the numbers in terms of how much money he's getting, but he just signed a 2-year deal to go to San Fran. Other than that, all of our free agents are still free agents right now. So that includes Joe Hayden and company. So, yep, that's that situation right there.
I'm seeing connections to Dallas for James Washington.
Well, yeah, I can see that there, man.
Des Bryant.
Yeah, from that area.
I think he called it on Twitter. He made a tweet on it. I think James Washington liked it, or he
that's his
threw up some
Oklahoma State
emojis.
dude. That's Oklahoma State homie, man. Come on, baby. Yeah. All right, next up, Garrett.
Adam Brown. No, you got.
I wish. No, we got like probably 6-7 more. I got to get to.
No
Garrett,
way.
Yeah, dude, they keep popping up. I like it. It's a dope vibe. It's a dope vibe. But I'm gonna get through them real quick. Because I do gotta hurry up, since I got a namaste in a little while.
I know.
But Garrett Slingerland, he says Jabril Peppers can also return punts and he defends the run well. I'd still prefer Terrell Edmunds to come back, but I think Peppers should be the realistic backup plan. You make a good case right there, man. You make a really good case, because Jabril definitely is a return man without a doubt. And he's fun to play against, man, when he's back there as a return man. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man, because he is exciting. But I do like your thought process. Terrell Edmunds, option number 1. If that doesn't work out, Pepper should be a cheaper version. And you're gonna get multi-use out of him, not just on defense, but like you said, as a return man as well. So he could fill 2 holes right there. So I like that thought process, Garrett. I like that. All right, next, Young Papi Bonito. I ain't gonna lie, I love your name, man. It's an awesome name. Says, what about Robert Woods with Allen Robinson in LA now? Robert Woods gonna cost a lot of money.
Yeah, and they're still talking about bringing Odell in.
Yeah.
Like, where's the Rams getting this money? Where?
Bro, man, listen, they get their money. On Madden, when you could turn the salary cap off, that's what they did. They say we operate with salary cap off. So I don't know how they make it work, but they've been doing this for 3-4 years now. Let's be real. It's been 3-4 years they've been doing this thing. You're like, how do y'all keep getting everybody? Like, everybody.
Yeah, I would assume if they bring in Odell, they would be trading Woods.
Yeah.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah.
But you're right. His contract's bad. We went over it. It's not the most team-friendly contract out there.
Not at all. And if you Woods, why would you take less? You've earned it. Yeah. And that's my dude. I love Young Woods, man. That's the young boy, man. Well, he ain't the young boy no more. He the OG now. He holding it down. But yeah, man. To me personally, man, I just think he costs way too much for what we would want or what we would need from him. Especially
with the dudes that are still out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you wouldn't have to trade for or pay more money.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's funny, man. I saw in the chat, Timmy G says the Rams have a GTA heist money going on, man. No question, man. They over there hitting them armored trucks. I'm like, I don't know how they keep printing that money like that, man. All right, we got LeVar Dawson here. He says, I think we should draft wide receiver. We need guys to create separation. I don't see a vet out there doing that unless Julio is healthy. Yeah, Julio, I think a healthy T.Y. Hilton gets you separation, especially on the deep ball. I think the same with the A.J. Green if they're healthy. Biggest question marks are their health, though, and that is the reality of the situation with them. But, yeah, I mean, this draft, you have options at wide receiver in this draft class, and that is the beauty that we are currently in right now, man. Yep. All right. Ooh, all right. Who we got? Which one you said? Oh, you're at Adam Brown. You said, okay, so I'm almost to you, and there's a couple left after that, and then we'll be good to go. All right. Okay, H&N Tabby. He says, should we go wide receiver first pick since we fixed up the defense? Think about it. We need even more weapons to make Bisky comfortable. All right.
I think it's something to think about now. I mean, receiver, was it even in our top 5 initially?
Initially it
really,
wasn't.
But now it is.
Yeah, initially receiver was not in there, but you're right, man. Especially now losing Ray McCloud. Yeah, we're light. We're very light. So we're going to need somebody in that thing, man. So I could see it potentially being first round wide receiver, or like we talked about the free agency element of it as well. But we have options, and that's the beauty of this position right now. Just having flexibility, not feeling like we have to do yay or nay. We can make some moves in that.
Yeah, because if we didn't address the offensive line or
we would have
the
to do
corners of the defense like we have been, then we'd be talking that instead of receiver. But all of a sudden, almost set on everything. We're just waiting for the Terrell Edmonds signing. Now we could do receiver, we could do nose tackle, linebacker, a couple positions we didn't have the top stops of our list because it was mainly offensive line. But now that we got that taken care of for the most part, and I'm assuming we're going to roll back with Dan Moore at left tackle. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could take Linderbaum, and then we would just have Cole and Dotson duke it out for the guard position. Although I think some people do think they would just give the job to Cole based off his contract. Just don't count out Dotson. But
keep fighting for your guy. Keep fighting for your guy.
I don't think offensive line is really like that much priority going into the draft right now.
Yeah,
at least in the first round.
With that, man. I would definitely agree with that. All right, now we should be caught up to Adam Brown. On you.
Claypool has the raw physical tools to take the top off the defense. Needs coached up and a veteran in the room. I was hoping he could be like DK Metcalf. Yeah, those are the comparisons. Is Claypool the next DK?
I mean, I'm hoping he could develop into it, but he's going to need refinement. He has to, get better with the little details, and a veteran receiver like a Julio could help him in that capacity. I think he helps him in a major way just from personal experience, man. It's it's a difference between watching veteran players on tape versus actually seeing them work. Like I remember I told you earlier in my career, I would watch Debo on tape, but it was different when I got to come to Pittsburgh and work with him every day, see him in the weight room, see how he practices, see how he watches film. It took my development to another level. So when I think of Chase, I think of him in that same capacity. It's like, yeah, you might watch some of these guys around the league, but it's different when you're working next to these guys and you see their intensity, you see their level. It makes you elevate. It makes you pick up your game, because otherwise they're looking at you like, nah, this is not going to cut it. And that is something that I can see with Chase potentially, having a positive impact if we did go a Julio route.
Black and yellow Texas Steel. Who has the best 2022 season in the black and gold? Is it safe to say TJ? Is that always a safe call?
TJ is always a safe call, but man, I
think Trubisky surprises people.
Oh, it is? I'm going to go Myles Jack then. I thought a Myles Jack had in that ring. All right. Yeah, because TJ going to have a lot of attention on him. I mean, he had a lot of attention last year. We know TJ going to be super hungry.
Who has the best season? I could see Najee going off, maybe.
Yeah, he going to have a way better O-line as well. I'm going Myles. I got me a linebacker in the building, baby. I got an LB. Y'all know I'm rolling with my LBs, man. Come on, baby. Give me Myles Jack for 200. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a ton of help around him. He's got a ton of good other defensive players where it'd be a really good situation for him. King Stacks, Moats. I'm March 10 and hit the MF and like button.
Like button. Yes, indeed. Now, y'all
maybe he's born on March 10th?
Yeah, he's born on March 10th. Yeah, he's on March 10th because all my March babies out there, man. He March 10th, I'm March 14th. The Pisces gang, man, we out here. So big time salute for all my Pisces, all my March babies in the building. King Stacks, man, I'm glad to see you in the building, man. And once again, like my dog said, hit those like buttons, man. Hit those like buttons.
Derek Nelson, to touch back on my comment, I guess you are right. I just prefer to have someone other than Mason and Haskins making Mitch fight for the position. But how do you feel about Jordan Davis getting drafted to us then? P.S. Love watching you play.
Oh, Derek, man. Definitely appreciate you, and namaste. But I mean, love Jordan Davis if that's the move we go, because we talked about him, right? He gives you instant upgrade in terms of just your run defense, but also he's the potential long-term replacement when Tyson and Tuitt move on, especially when you see how athletic he tested as well. So with him, and I would love that. And I do understand your sentiment as well in terms of you want to just have, higher end competition or a different version of competition for Mr. Trubisky. I do get that 100%. I just don't want that competition to come in the first round, and it is already looking like with Malik that he's going to need to develop, And I've already told you, like, some of the reasons why I didn't want him out there early anyways as a young quarterback. I think that they play better when they get a chance to sit. I just don't think that, in this scenario, the way that we've created our roster, the way we've created our team, that you would want to roll like that. You know what I mean? You would want to not have a first-round talent out there this year. I think, man, if you could get a Jordan Davis, right? Would you rather have Jordan Davis playing, or would you rather have Malik sitting, behind one of these guys? And that's kind of like my biggest difference with it.
Yeah. AJ Martinez, welcome to the Moats, Deke, and Mike Tyson podcast. LOL. It's raining cash in the Supers. Have a great weekend, guys.
No, man. The Supers have been phenomenal. We greatly appreciate the heck out of all of y'all. And AJ Martinez, you're right, man. Mike got hot boxing. I listen to the hot boxing podcast, man. It's kind of dope. Like, but you hear because Mike, he be telling you get to talking like this, man. He doing his interviews. He's like, yo, when I was seeing this dude in New York City, man, I just couldn't understand what's going on, man. Before I knew it, man, I was just like, oh my God, I want to kill him. I was going to eat his killed, you know what I'm saying? Just like, praise be to Allah. But I turned over a new leaf, and that's where I'm at right now with this. Mike, I'm sorry, Mike. Mike, don't beat me up, Mike. Mike gonna snuff me out, bro. Y'all about to get me beat up by Mike, bro. Anywho.
That is it for the super chats.
That is it. So we're gonna get to this last thing, and then we're
do you have time?
Honestly, we got like 2 minutes for this one. All right, so we're gonna quickly address it. We're gonna quickly address it. But Baker Mayfield, we talked about it lightly the other day. In terms of him putting the big post up about showing gratitude to the city of Cleveland, but not saying that this was farewell or goodbye. Well, his tone has changed. In response to the Cleveland Browns meeting with Deshaun Watson or showing interest in Deshaun Watson, things have definitely changed, in terms of Baker's tune, and that's ultimately why he has requested a trade. And for me, man, I'm all for it. I think that it's a good situation for him to be asking for a trade based on the way that Cleveland has handled it, man. But what are your thoughts on it, man?
I think they're just meant for each other, actually. They should just stay. Hey, it's perfect. Baker Mayfield has been, I don't know, a little dysfunctional and stuff with how he's operated with the media, drawing some attention to the team. And then the Browns, you see how they handled this situation. I think they're just meant for each other. I don't think either of them should move on. Just run it back. And that's great for the AFC North.
It's great for us without a doubt, but the Browns definitely dropped the ball in this one, man.
You think it's more on the Browns end than him?
What? Come on, man. You can't be in a relationship and y'all about to get committed, and you over here like, let me test the water real quick. Oh, hey, I'm really back to you again. Nah, bro.
Falcons are doing it.
But no, Matt Ryan is 37. No, it's
with Matt Ryan. Is it just that the Browns didn't confront Baker and tell him?
Matt Ryan, they were asking, is he going to retire? Are they going to release him? Night and day. Whereas with Baker is the guy that they still felt like could be their guy. He went out there and was putting it on the line injured this past season because he was trying to prove to them that, yes, I'm your guy. Commit the long-term money to me. Atlanta has already done that multiple times with Matt Ryan. That just makes sense in terms of bringing in a younger guy, the new heir apparent in Atlanta. If you're Cleveland and you've been telling Baker he's that guy, and now all of a sudden you're going and you're going to try to get a Deshaun Watson, or you at least entertain it, it's like, nah, bro. Like, I don't want any parts of that.
Do you blame
But I just think the timing of it was bad. Like, you don't do that unless you know you're going to be able to pull it off. Because by them not pulling it off, now you're in this situation where Baker is pissed off,
How else do you try to get him, though?
You're right. Like I said, that's
chance?
just the nature of the situation that they don't – I mean, there's really no better way to handle it They just had to do it, because you owe it to yourself to make that phone call. But this is what happens when you miss. Like you said, if you're in a relationship, Deke, and you think you're committed, and that chick looks over there like, yo, I think he cute. Let me go on a date with him, see what's happening. And it don't work out. And she come back like, hey, Deke, I still want to be with you again. How you gonna react? You gonna be like, nah, bro, I'm cool on you. You go back with homie then, or hey, you go figure it out on your own. I don't want that no more. That's what this situation is, man. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they were supposed to get married.
Actually, that's a good way to put it. Though I don't blame the Browns for trying to get Deshaun Watson and looking into it, but I guess don't blame Baker Mayfield for requesting a trade. Mm-hmm. So they're just meant for each other. I'm telling you, just stay together.
Hey, toxic on toxic on toxic, man. So it's all good. But with that being said, man, I do got to run. So you get this last super that just popped up. And then after that, man, we'll, bring this thing to an end.
H&M Tabby, last one. Says, Tomlin went to Clemson to watch Justin Ross, wide receiver. You think he's a good fit? Could be. Oh,
I mean, absolutely. And we know Coach Tomlin, man, wherever he goes for the pro days, typically one of them dudes is our first rounders. They going to have somebody, going to have eyes on him. Colbert, they're going to have eyes on it somewhere. So, excuse me, with that being said, man, I would like Justin, man. He definitely doesn't hurt him, or even I think of Pickens from Georgia as well. He's another option. It's like, you got some people out there. It's like I said, the wide receiver class is nuts, though, man. So, like I said, with that being said, though, man, this was a heck of a show, man. Shout out to everybody that was with us today, man. This was an absolute blast. Y'all liked the heck out of it. We definitely appreciate that. Y'all super chatted the heck out of it. We definitely appreciate that. But like we said, man, it's the weekend. It's Friday. So, y'all enjoy yourselves. Don't work too hard. Blast off for yours truly. And until next time, baby.
Peace.